Welcome to another episode of the Daily Dave. I'm your host, David Chang, and I'm here to talk to you about quitting versus failing part two. So, we're here again, and we're going to go ahead and expand upon the theme that we talked about yesterday. Maybe I should have just made a full length video. No. Or maybe I should have or maybe I should split this up into 4 videos and you can get easy access for $19.99 per month. I got some pretty good responses to yesterday's video. It was pretty sweet, such as like, this really resonated with me. I'm feeling the same way right now. It's good on your boss to give you that rough advice. Like, that's a great point of view. Better to say you failed repeatedly than quit once. It's true. Like, it's tough for me to understand. Like, this was one of the harder topics for him to explain to me, because this is how I lived my whole life. And I think it actually spawns from an unfortunate childhood event. Nothing like super bad, by the way, but it kind of shaped who I am now, or it helped reinforce a lot of behaviors that in some situations they're really good, and in a lot of other situations they're not very good. So I'm going to explain to you how my boss like conveyed this to me, or how I interpret it, how I understand it. So, but first, the story. So I was like 4, and around 4, and I was in preschool, and it was like a show and tell day, and it's a day where all the parents and or like, I guess mostly mothers, but like a single parent representative and the child would be in the class, and it was some sort of like show and tell session. Very harmless, very typical things that happen in school. I don't remember necessarily having any difficulties when I was younger. Just more, my parents were super big on us like being good-mannered kids. So we were always yelled at for like standing out of line or talking too much in public, or we were raised very quiet, and we went, what do you call it? What is that phrase? We stood in line really well. Not like literally, yes, literally, but also just we're almost like trained really well to be like obedient. So obedience was one of our strong points, all of us, I'm pretty sure. What happened was I wanted to present my favorite cereal to everyone. And my favorite cereal at the time was Frosted Flakes. They're great. The problem is, as a 4-year-old child, I did not call Frosted Flakes by their official name. I called it Tiger cereal, because there's a goddamn tiger on the box. And that's all it's basic shit, And my mom never really like corrected me, because maybe she thought it was cute, or I don't know. She's my mom, and I'm her only son, and I'm the youngest, so of course she's going to spoil me, right? She's going to go easy on me. So what happens is, I tell the entire class that this is my favorite cereal, Tiger cereal. And I show the box. And I don't remember the details of it, but what I do remember was feeling humiliation, because I believe the teacher did attempt to correct me and say, no, that's not Tiger cereal. That's called, Frosted Flakes. And I'm pretty sure I was laughed at quite a bit. And I didn't realize this. I mean, I kind of... Well, here's the funny thing. This memory, the fact that this happened is one of the strongest memories I have. How it all went down, not necessarily. It's probably been too long. And arguably I've tried to suppress it. But this feeling of humiliation and failure in front of others, I believe, has stuck with me this entire time. And so literally what my boss and I are trying to do is undo approximately 30 years of behavior based on that incident. Okay, that's a little extreme. But a lot of the behaviors I've expressed, or yeah, a lot of the behaviors I've expressed are kind of based on this. This has happened in my professional life many times, or at least I can definitely point to one time where I felt really hurt by it. But basically, yeah, this is why I actually don't like speaking, like raising my hand and speaking. Like this was never a thing that I enjoyed in school. I would try to break out of my shell every now and then and be the guy who raises his hand. Every time I felt like there was some sort of um, progress in my personal development, I would be more quote unquote courageous. The problem is every time I was very certain I had the right answer, or it was a situation where I could ask or I could ask a question, so it didn't mean that I would be called out for being wrong. Now the problem is that doesn't teach me failure, does it? That just teaches me to only choose battles I know for sure I won't lose, or choose situations where I know for a fact that either I won't fail or like the repercussions will be so light that it won't matter. But at the same time, I think that trained me to also think quitting in the sense of, yeah, sure, I might never get ahead in life, but at least I don't have to experience that discomfort is like an acceptable thing. And in my current situation, this is unacceptable. So that's my little childhood story, and that's a little bit of like a key piece of my history, I think. This is really personal, holy shit. But this is why I started this daily vlog series, because I mean it's kind of like therapeutic. It's also if it brings value to people, that's cool. But this is my outlet. And yeah, that shit sucks, man. But I'm working on it. I'm like I said, I'm on a daily basis attempting to fail. Every assignment I get is supposed to be an assignment that's so hard that I can't succeed. So when I already know that, instead of going, well, I'll never be able to do this, so I might as well not do it, my answer always needs to be, I'm going to do the best fucking job I can, no matter what, you know? I'm seeking this failure, but what I'm doing is I'm making progress in how well I can accomplish things. I mean, we can always move the goalposts, and I'll keep getting closer. Like that's the point. But if I never run the race, then yeah, I truly learn nothing, right? If I duck out before I even start, then nothing happens. Nothing changes. I learn nothing new. I grow a day older, and I don't learn anything. I don't progress. I don't think I'm very good at articulating this, especially if I haven't thought about it very well before. But that's kind of what I'm going for. I want to be in a situation where I will attempt new things that make me really freaking uncomfortable and fall flat on my face while doing them. But because I'm going to make a shit ton of mistakes, I can always look back and say, here's where it went wrong, and if I correct that, it'll get better. Let's try it again. Let's do something else, make more mistakes. Rinse and repeat. So that's my life now. And my boss is making me do some absolutely ridiculous shit that I think I might share much later on, depending on what happens. I don't know. A little bit of a heavier episode this time, I think, because it was a little bit of an impulse, and yeah, that's not really something I've told a lot of people, that story. I might have in passing, and it might have seemed like a very fleeting moment, but after working with my boss for a month, I really do think I can trace a lot of these behavioral issues back to that. The irony is that my boss actually said this is not like a super bad thing. The fact that I do actively avoid like the discomfort means that I'm a very, very cautious person, and that's one of the primary reasons why like he wanted to hire me. Quality control, right? The problem is I do it to such an extreme that like even in my typical work, like this is a problem. And he's figured that out. Or he says that a lot of people can figure this out, but not a lot of people know how to help someone fix that. And that's what he's doing right now. So anyway, I think that's about too much rambling. So this was the Daily Dave for December 6th, Wednesday. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.